Hey everybody, it's Lyn from Lyn's Crafts. Just real quick, I've got sort of a companion video to these hearts because I'm making some word sticks. I'm not sure what you want to call them. Little word plaques. As you can see, I've got a hole up here in the top. This one says peace, and it's got a butterfly up here. These two right here were done with a wood-mounted rubber stamp, which gives you a nice deep impression, nice deep stamping. And as you can see, I've done both of these on the swirly stamp, on the swirly texture sheet. This one is, these are Hero Arts cling stamps, and the foam on some of these cling stamps is quite a bit softer, so it's a little more difficult to get a deep etched design. But we're still gonna go for it. So I've got a couple of different steampunkish little ball of gold clay, and this is the Primo Accents, and it's the gold. I believe it's just called gold. I can't swear to that because evidently I tore off the part where it tells you what color it is. I must squish this ball out just a little bit for a start. Alright, and that is actually quite a bit bigger than I want, so let's do that again. Whoa! Again, into a ball. And I'm sorry, I'm all over the place this morning. Come on, look. It's so hot and sticky in here. But my air conditioner is rather loud, so sorry about that. Hopefully we're still in focus. Alright. So I've got this sun stamp, so we're going to give that a try. Unfortunately, I cannot get where I'm right over my piece, so let's do this. I'm going to try to get it centered the best I can. I'm not worried about these lines out to the side at all. Alright. And this particular set of stamps has been notorious for not sticking to the acrylic block, and I don't mean just this one, because this is the one I use for clay. I have one I used, I have several that I use for stamping, but these stamps just don't want to stick. Alright. Prime example. Alright. So there we go. As you can see, and it's got the swirliness on the back. And what I'll usually do is, because there's going to be places where the stamp didn't stamp quite as deeply as I want. And yes, I realize it's just the back. And again, this is the second time I've done this. The first time was because I had a piece of white stuck in the clay. Now I've got a piece of black. Alright. Again, just bring out some of this little bit of detail so that it doesn't really look like I did a bad stamping job. It's just all about the pressure that you put on the front. Alright. And right up here, I got the edge of my stamp in there. I can rub that out a little bit. Okay. So there was what we were after, but on this one, just like on some of these, I want to do a little texture around the edges. So you can just take whatever tool. I was using my needle tool before and doing it down on my table. Alright, so there we go. These are going to be cute. This one needs a hole though. So let's go right up here. Let's see. Got a little bit of triangular. Where'd my stamp go? Upside down where I can't see it. This little triangular detail right here that is at the top. That's where I put my hole. So I'm gonna bake these and then come back and we'll see what I do with them. You never know. Embossing powder, Inca gold, I'm not sure yet. The gold and the silver are two colors that I almost never use, just like they are. And I'll show you an example. This is a piece that I made quite a long time ago. And the reason that it was never finished was because I hadn't done anything to the bezel, because it was just plain gold. And this is how long ago. This was before I had my my little logos, my little leaf logos that say Lyn's Crafts. So it's just hand signed on the back, which some of them I do both, just depending on the piece. But a lot of them nowadays I finish the back off instead of leaving them where you can see the stone from the back. But this was never finished because of the color of the gold. First of all, it just was too close, as you can see, to the color of the stone, which I didn't care for. It didn't highlight the stone quite enough. So when I got my Inca gold, and I think it's just the gold. Yeah, it's just the gold, Inca gold. And I rubbed that on. Oh, I immediately liked it better. But this is another one that I'm going to do some other some other pieces for. It'll probably have more of a little bit of a bohemian style look to it. And that's what I'm going to do with these hearts. There'll be a heart and a word stick and maybe a couple of other things dangling with it. And if I can find some, I found some copper hammered rings, some large ovals and stuff like that. But I want to find some silver. I want to find some different colored ones. I mean, not that I don't do copper quite often, because I do, but I'd like to have them in several colors. Some larger ovals to hang different pieces from. Some larger, I don't want to call them jump rings, but for lack of a better word. So, alright, I'm going to bake these. I'm going to bake these and come back. Sweaty, probably. Okay, here's our pieces out of the oven, minus that one. This one you didn't see. It's just done exactly the same as the hearts. You can't really tell it just because it's silver clay, but it's got the same carving. And I've got my Inca gold out in the old silver. And yes, I just have the little one. I've actually tried to order this 3 different times in the larger size, and every time I get an email telling me it was out of stock. If it was out of stock, Why was it in the store available? That's what I want to know. Because all of my little ones just get dry all the time. And I don't seem, whoa, to have the same problem with the larger size ones. Oh, right up my fingernail. Gross. And I'm going to do the same thing and just cover this and then go back and just did it again. Sand off the high spots. And then my nose wants to itch. And I would just pick a different color if I hadn't already done the first part of it. This piece is going to go like something like this when it's done, and I did this a while back ago. Obviously, when my old silver was not hard yet. Ew. Wow, talk about your workout. Alright, I'm going to try it again. I had softened it up the first time, but just not quite enough. Yeah, y'all lay down now. Sometimes dogs can be. They bark at nothing. Half the time I think they just wanted me to let them in because the air conditioner's on, when all they have to do is scratch at the door, and they know that. Okay, oh my goodness, half a day later. My battery died. So here's where I was. I went ahead and finished covering this, and then I just barely hit with the sandpaper, just like I did in the heart tutorial video, and knocked the Inca Gold, in this case, off the high points. Oh, what a day, what a day. And then that is going to go with this. And I put just a touch more of the Inca Gold in the old silver on these stars. Alright. Now, as you can see, after you buff it, this stuff really has a nice shine to it. This is a piece that is from, I believe, the rolled inclusion bead tutorial. It may just be the 2 inclusion bead tutorial, I'm not sure at this point. It's got shaped glitter, the stars, and embossing powder mixed with transparent clay. And then the bezel frame is just black clay that's got the Inca Gold on it. So. And there's no glaze. This is just buffed. It's not even sanded. It's just buffed, this stone. I'm just going for a little different look. So it's going to go something like that later. Alright, right now I've got this piece, and I've got the Ranger Ancient Gold series, and this is the Tarnished Gold. And I like this because it's almost like a cross between a copper and a gold, which goes well with this particular color of gold. So I've just got my Versamark pad and next to no room to work in. So forgive me if I just shove stuff off to the side whilst trying not to spill embossing powder. Well, you just love it when it does what you didn't want it to do. I was hoping that it would not. Oh, hi, baby. It would not stick. Well, it just did anyway. I don't know. Let's see some of it. What, Samson? No, baby. You're just going to have to wait. I'm not going to let you out right now. He's not going to quit bugging me, though. Baby, quit. Let's see. Maybe it's a little bit better. Snot just a bit more of this off. And then I'm going to have to pause and see what he wants. One more time. Alright, we'll try that. No. I didn't put the lid on yet. Right in front of the camera. Sorry about that. But I'm not going to let that go to waste. Alright. Again, I've said this before, I let my heat gun heat up off to the side before I bring it over to the polymer clay. Your goal is to heat the embossing powder without getting the polymer clay too hot. And you don't want to get it too close. You don't want to burn. The clay will burn before the embossing powder will melt if you get it too close. Just have patience. There it goes. And there we go. Oh, let's focus. Alright. There we go. I could go just a little bit longer and it wouldn't be quite so textured, but I kind of like that. So, alright. I'll come back after I choose a couple of colors and do the same thing to these. Okay, sorry about that. It's like 3-day break between between shots. This one just has Inca Gold in the, I think it's just the regular silver. Alright, I just rubbed that on there, and then after it dried, buffed it with a little piece of Subway napkin. I just wanted to share, this is what the winged heart looked like from the previous tutorial. I just rubbed it with a couple of colors of the Pearl-X powder, and then I'll come back and sand off the little high points on the heart. Alright, so here's what I've got left. Here's how the hourglass one turned out. And again, this one just has gold, Inca gold on it. And I guess just to recap, here's the sun with the Ranger tarnished gold. Okay, so I've got this one and the Judykins Midnight Twinkle. I haven't used this particular color on anything yet, I don't believe. And sorry about my ratty piece of paper. It's my embossing. It's what I do embossing on, so that I can sweep it back into the jar. Right, I've just got my Versamark pad, and because I don't want embossing ink all over my paper or my fingers, for that matter. Alright. Ooh, I like it. It's sparkly. Hopefully. Tap that. Whoa! Not bad. One more time. I'm gonna have it all over the place. I mean, the first thing my husband says when he comes home, "You've got glitter on." I say, you wouldn't know I would have been working. You wouldn't know I was working if I didn't have glitter on. Oh yeah, I can hear him now. Alright, I'm going to heat my heat gun up off to the side real quick. Alright, now that it's hot, I'm going to start way up above it. And it's going to blow a little bit off, but not too much. You'll start to see pretty quick it'll start to change, even from way up here. And as it starts to go, you can get a little bit closer. And again, I've said this before, when embossing on polymer clay, start high up and get the piece warm first, and have your heat gun warm first, because the clay will burn before the embossing powder melts. Oh, me like it. Almost can't tell it says peace, but I love the sparkle. Okay, that does pose a dilemma, so we can choose to, how smooth is it? Yeah, we could choose to seal it first and then do a whitewash so that piece will stand out, or do it black. Either one may help it to stand out some. So let's try it. Okay, I've just got some black acrylic paint over here, just some, I think it's apple barrel, and I'm just going to thin it down a little bit with some water. I still want it thick enough to be opaque. I want a rich black still, but thin enough that hopefully it's going to flow into my lettering there. Let's see. I've got to, let me wet it. Not tiny, but not large. Not small, but not large. That's the kind of day I'm having. And just start by letting it flow into those recesses. It doesn't mean I can see, but it's a bit of fancy lettering, as my husband says. Fancy math and fancy lettering. Alright, then our little butterfly over here may or may not show up. Alright, and while that's still damp, gimme. That's quite a bit better. I just sprayed a little water on my towel. A little more of that sparkle to come back up. Okay. Well, at least now I can see it says peace. Alright, so there's the next step in these little heart charms. Don't worry, I've got one this is going to go with. Here's the other one. Now next, I'm going to come back and I want to do some sort of donut or something to that effect to hang these off of. So I'm going to come back with another tutorial, and eventually we're going to get to a bohemian style couple of pendants. So that's it for today. Let's see. There we go. Word sticks or something. Name plates, word plates, plaques. I could probably go on and on there, but all kinds of possibilities. Embellishments for mini albums, tags, cards, anything like that. Just your rubber stamps, clay, and something to give you some contrast. Or not contrast. I didn't expect this to be as black, the embossing powder, so a little test might have benefited me on that color a bit. I expected it to be a little bit more silver, to be honest, so still really pretty. Alright, that's it for today. I shall holler at y'all later. Bye now.